Okay, we should be getting linked over to the watch page now.
And we are also live on YouTube. And we're live on YouTube. Okay, we should be good now.
Yeah.
All right.
Go back in.
There we go. On that. And looking good here. Let's see, I want to turn this on to the watch. And we should be on there. Let's see what's happening here. All right. We're on me.
Hasn't come over yet. Hang on.
There
we are. Joe Coley is live. All right, there we go.
Okay.
Woo!
Right.
Finally.
All right, and that's on the watch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, well, welcome everybody. Sorry for that little. Miss Pat is sick. Bless her heart. That's what happened. And Miss Pat, I don't know why we had such an ordeal with this, but we got it working on one of them on that. So we're doing that. Welcome everybody to the watch.
Yeah, I don't. Something with the iPads would not. Would not give us Facebook Live today.
I see. There we are on the watch right now.
Yeah, so we are sorry, but I mean, we have been scrambling for 30 minutes to try and figure out what was going on with this stuff.
Houston, we had a problem, but we're good now on that. And
no, Sandy, the mayor did not kidnap me. I am moving every 60 minutes. I'm moving to a new undisclosed location, and I'm off the grid. So the mayor hasn't been able to find me. But, well, look, the first thing we're going to talk about today is if you even think about going west on Jarrah Island into Phoenix City, forget it. Traffic is still blocked. There is at least minimum 8 to 10 Columbus police cars that are tied up with traffic control and stuff and keeping people. If you're coming past River Road, just plan on getting off on 2nd Avenue because the tractor trailers and I saw a piece of it. I do not know how nobody was hurt in that turnover crash over there, and it's right at the beginning of the bridge going onto the reservoir. It's over there, and traffic is fine going eastbound. We didn't have it plugged in, do we?
Now we have the.
How's the sound now, people? Is the sound better now? I'll tell you what, we're about ready to jump out the window. Anyway, like I was saying, traffic is still messed up going into Phoenix City. Once you're not getting to Phoenix City at all because you can't get out of the edge of Georgia. So the tractor trailers are still there. They're still cleaning it up. So that's a mess. And Columbus is doing a good job of slowing people down. And yeah, okay, you're confusing me because I'm hearing myself in delay. But just thought Stacy did a great job this morning of putting that out, and some other people put that out. Mr. Gillens put that out. I believe that traffic was still blocked. And anyway, I guess the majority of the traffic in the morning is going towards Georgia than really coming back into Phoenix City. At least that's my take on it. So anyway, what's going on out there, folks? Is there anything, we want to just say this up front, is there anything y'all want to talk about? We've got the call-in line, 706-940-0541. Call in if there's something you want to talk about. We did have that missing young lady that we didn't know what happened to her. Now it's, supposedly she has texted some family members. We still don't know. Of course, people are saying it might not be her texting on the phone. So,
Sandy, are we okay now? We should sound real good now.
Yeah, we got Sandy and
Sandy, let us know that we're okay.
So, hey, I heard that maybe were you able to get a hold of Marshal Greg Countryman today?
Yes, and he is going to be giving us a call here.
Okay.
Shortly. He's in court, but I think
he's in court.
Yeah,
all right.
He's going to try to jump out here and give us a call. And yes, that's this darn crime, Sandy. And you're hearing us okay, Sandy? Now we had yes, sir. Thank you. We had Miss Pat got sick with a little bit of a stomach virus here right at the last moment on that. But and I think what I think really was, Eric. I think there's some government officials that are trying to stop us. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the wild weekend that we had in the area?
What do we have? 3 murders in one day?
I don't know if there were at least 2 shootings. One which was police related. A gentleman just decided he was not going to be taken in for whatever reason. And
hey, how about a moment for some sarcasm? I don't know, Eric. Were those homicides or murders? Because all homicides are murders, but not all murders are homicides.
Yeah.
That's called sarcasm, and that's what we've been getting, sarcasm. Unbelievable that our city government people, where are our council? Where is the mayor? Where are our law enforcement heads? Why are they not coming out and saying, as a matter of fact, they are coming out and saying that this is just normal. I think that one county just said, we're normal.
Was that Major Sluchek said it's normal to have all these murders? It's
Good
normal.
morning. Good morning, Pastor Harmon. Yes, he said join them Saturday. It's going to be Saturday for the 5th annual Pray Across America at 10 a.m. That is an important thing, but thank you for bringing
Pastor, how about if we pray across our area?
Yeah.
like
circle
focus on this area right in
County
here.
and have a giant prayer session going on like that. I mean, come on, and all murder is homicide, not all homicide is murder. On that, he's saying.
Well, I thought it was interesting, and I posted it to the watch page, folks.
There's a heck of a lot of people getting killed.
It was a quote from Major Sluchek, basically saying that a majority of these shootings and murders are either, get this now, hold on to your seats, gang related or drug related. Or
how can
both.
that be? The mayor said we don't have any gangs in Columbus.
We don't have a gang problem.
So all these murders and shootings are gang and
we
drug
don't have
related.
a gang problem, and therefore we no longer have a gang task force. How about this idea? This is an idea that was brought up, and I had to steal it from over off the Concerned Citizens page, Columbus. How about the mayor get out of law enforcement, since she's not trained, and let the Columbus police chief and the marshal and the sheriff deal with law enforcement?
We're very fortunate. We've got a great group of law enforcement officers in this town, in those departments, and they just need to be able to do their job. And I think it's not them. I think it's politicians that are putting just like politicians don't let our soldiers win our wars. I think politicians are playing political games.
How about this idea, folks? That ever since about 2002, 2003, it has been politically correct not to let law enforcement go after criminals. Okay, because you know what you had in 2002? You had the Kenny Walker fiasco that cost the city, I don't know what it cost them, $1 million?
A whole bunch of money.
So ever since then, it's been hands off with, the old school, the jump out boys and really going after aggressively, and with the morale problem and stuff, and they can't keep officers, why should a Columbus police officer go 100%, go 100 miles an hour trying to fight crime if the city doesn't have his back? If he's going to be nitpicked and Monday morning quarterbacked every time he does something, why even go there? I think it's a good question, and it's coming up. The Columbus Citizens Group, I believe it is. Don't hold me to this. It's on the page. September 13th at one of the libraries, I believe it is. They are inviting some of the law enforcement people without the mayor, okay? Because this is going to be hopefully a back and forth conversation, not a mayor's one way where she lectures us conversation.
And picks who she wants to talk to.
Yeah, and you have the people already picked in the audience that are going to stand up and ask the softball questions. Well, look, I plan on showing up and asking some questions.
I plan on showing up.
Okay? And I dare somebody to stand and say, well, right now, you don't actually live in Columbus and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Since 1998, okay, when I was a drill sergeant out of Fort Benning, I have lived, ate, bought gas, bought products in the city of Columbus. I've had family members that live in prominent, neighborhoods over here, that go to school here, that have been sports stars over here. I have other relatives that are working for major corporations in the area. I visit over here all the time. I spend a dollar or two over here in Columbus, and I got a right to say something about it. Okay, I have a right to say my relatives need to be safe. My relatives need to be safe to go out to in public to eat dinner and to recreate and not have to worry about getting their brains blown out by some gangbanger that either wants to steal their car or wants something that they've got. Okay, so I've got questions, not questions. I've got. They keep saying nobody's providing solutions. I've got ideas going back 4 years.
4 years.
4 years ago, that I told the mayor in her little conference room off of her office up there, and I don't think that one of them has been implemented by the city.
Oh, I got one. Let's just stop one right off the bat. Is Eric? You know, and I'm not giving you kudos. You need kudos for this, but you know, a few years ago,
I'd rather have some Chips Ahoy. Do you have any Chips Ahoy?
Yeah, I guess with that.
Okay.
On that, Eric. Hey, Edie, how you doing? And Steve, hello. How are you? And what I think the issue is here that we're talking about is how is it that the watch which has almost 16,000 members.
Nope, not almost. Last night we went over 16, or this morning we went over
1,000 members that gets, let's check our budget. Nothing. Yeah. Zero. Not a dime from anybody. Not a dime from anybody. So, and how many, and I mean, even the sheriffs and the chief of police, they will even acknowledge how many assistances have been made by the watch and members of the watch of assisting in helping law enforcement to, as eyes and ears around the town, to combat crime on that. You know, perhaps if we can get 16,000 people to come into this organization, you know, Carol is asking how she can watch on YouTube. We are on YouTube Live right now. Just
go look up the Valley Watch.
The Valley Watch.
The Valley Watch.
The Valley Watch.
Because apparently YouTube, the name The Watch had already been taken
off.
The
Valley Watch, yeah.
Stuff, you know, a musician, a band or something, I think has got that name. And then you know, of course, it's tied to Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn's movie, The Watch. So where they're fighting aliens.
The Valley Watch. And as a matter of fact, the first of next week, we're kicking off the new ministry webpage. And on our ministry webpage, you'll have a link to all the Black Columbus Blue, the Watch, all these, which you can simply just tap on there and take you right to them.
You know, getting back to this city thing, has anybody noticed that after the weekend, and Joe commented on it the other day about the post that Stacy had put out there, post after post after post of shots fired, robberies. My favorite Circle K that I always stop at, you know, when I'm over at Columbus, you know, I'm either down at, you know, if I'm getting a haircut at Ranger Joe's or I'm running out to Fort Benning or something. Of course, you know, I use the Victor Drive corridor right there going back into Alabama. And that 2nd Avenue Circle K, you know, it's a favorite stop for me if I need a cold drink or a lottery ticket or something. Because I've, you know, going back to this summer and stuff, you know, I've never been able to really get a lottery ticket or a cold drink down there at the Foxy Movies Theater and stuff like some of those Georgia politicians do. You know, they stop back there and then they get shot and stuff.
Oh.
But I could say that I've never been shot down at the 2nd Avenue Circle K. But anyway, cold drinks, you have your lottery tickets there, gasoline, you know, little snacks and stuff. So it's a place that I like to, and I know most of the cashiers and stuff. Well, they got hit the other morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you know, some of the cashiers and stuff are a little shaken up about it and stuff. But you know, it's almost getting to be a joke in Columbus. You know, you've got that standing joke that was made, you know, a while back about they're changing the name from Circle K to Stop and Rob and stuff, but it's almost like the Circle K's are like the you know, the criminal teller machines. You know, I need a few bucks, let's go to Circle K. Need something, you know, a case of beer or two, let's go to Circle K. And it's almost become passe that people just they're so used to it. It's like, well, that's par for the course. But I do find it pretty funny. Joe, I can't believe that you're not listening to me and you're making phone calls while we're live. But anyway, I just thought I have to get over it. Bottom line is, after the weekend, Anything from the mayor? Of course not, because you can only take statistics and the heat and risky behavior and the gun culture so far before people are just like, we don't want to hear that crap. We don't want to hear that ridiculousness, okay? And it is ridiculous. And for the little sailors on the mayor's ship, you know, that come on these web pages from time to time, you know, and they're like, well, what can the mayor do? The mayor's not responsible. Let me tell you, when you're at the top of the ship, when you're up there at the top and you tell people you're the CEO, you are the buck stops here, well, guess what? The responsibility stops with you too. If you want to tell everybody there's not a problem, we don't have a gang problem, we don't need a gang task force, it's not that bad compared to Chicago or Los Angeles or, you know, one of these other cities and stuff. And even some of your law enforcement officials want to spout the same lines, you know. That's why I say the mayor needs to get out of the way, away from the mic, and let the law enforcement take care of law enforcement, and maybe they won't be afraid to tell you what the problem is. And there's no doubt in my mind that there are criminal elements, gangs, okay, and they're making their money off of criminal enterprises, probably majority of it drugs, okay. And some of these deaths are because people are stepping over the lines, or they're selling in other territories, or they're cutting in on somebody's action, and they're getting upset about it, okay? Now, just because you have one or two domestics thrown in there, okay, where a husband catches somebody doing something or something he doesn't like, or the wife or something is in an abusive relationship, okay, that doesn't wipe away everything else, okay? Don't focus on one or two, you know. Focus on, what did they say? 30 deaths a year, and it's normal, okay? Well, it's not going to be normal, and I've said this. You wait till the first whitewater rafter is shot down on the Riverwalk, getting back into his car. You wait for the first prominent citizen, old money family, to lose a relative here down when he comes off the zip line, or he's doing something downtown, or one of these college students get carjacked and they get shot, okay? Then you're going to see an outpouring of concerned citizens, okay? Then it's going to be, you know, if someone like, you know, last name of Loudermilk or W.C. Bradley or Turner or somebody like that gets shot downtown or something, people are going to lose their minds, okay? And then there's going to be some real political pressure, okay? So far, we've been lucky it hasn't happened. And a lot of, you know, it's been okay with people as long as it's happening in certain areas of the town, okay? As long as it stays over there. Well, it's not staying over there, okay? Cars are being stolen. It's getting out. It's going into other areas where you have stuff. And the people that have stuff are now starting to feel the have-nots come into their areas. You got that Phoenix City video that's out now about the guy that's come back for the second time into the garage, okay? It's a good reason not to leave your garage doors open, okay? It's a good reason to have some kind of a alert system, you know, around your house to let you know if people are sneaking around, okay? Well, I'm not going to go into all the preventive medicine that you can do to protect your home or yourself. We're going to have some people in the future, maybe from ACOM or something, come in and give you some ideas, everything from the doorbell ringer things that, you know, tell people supposedly from anywhere that you can talk to them. It's not hard to defeat that, okay? It's not hard to knock on a door or something, or, you know, figure out that there's not somebody actually home, okay? But it's the fad right now. What we're talking about is the folks that are out there watching this video or that see this video in the future. Don't just watch it and just say, okay, yeah, there's a problem stuff. You need to talk to other people. You need to say, you know, if you really believe that there's nothing that the mayor can do, okay, fine. There is stuff that can be done, and it's never been done. And here's the difference. Saying that there's nothing that can be done and saying that there is something that can be done and trying to implement something is at least sticking your fingers in some of the holes in the dike. Okay, you're slowing down some of the water. At least you're making an effort to fight. But if you do say, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. We're the sky is falling, and there's nothing we can do," I don't believe that. We've never been a country of "there's nothing we can do."
No,
okay?
there's lots of things we do. And I'm going to make a point there. Let me ask somebody out there, a little scenario. If you've got a 3-year-old child that's on the other side of a room, and they're in the kitchen, and that 3-year-old child is about to stick its arm in a pot of boiling water, and there's no possible way that you will be able to physically get to that child in time before they do that. Do you just sit there and go, "Oh well, you know what? I see him going to put his arm in the boiling water. I won't even say anything." Or are you going to scream, "Don't," and run like the wind and try to your last second to get to that child? That's the point. Anything is better than the status quo. Anything is better than the status quo. I have a few ideas. I think that in the police department, the sheriff's department, law enforcement officers, that that one thing they could do is, especially at night, going around, is that every quite often 4 or 5 times a night when they're in the area, I don't mean the siren, and I'm a former police officer. Put your blue light on. Just let that blue light go where people are seeing a blue light around there. People go, "Oh, well, you know what? That is scary." People, no, it won't. That'll be people will know that there's a police officer there. They'll see that. Look like when you're going down the road. Hello, David. When you're going down the road and you look way down the road, look, there's a cop down there. I can see the lights. So you know that's going on. That's one thing. We need to do some proactive things like, they're all over this about these murders. Well, let me tell you something. When you go out and look and find out, if you pull the police reports, which I have, these people that have guns that go out and shoot and kill people and all this kind of stuff, there is none of them, not one of them were legally carrying a firearm with a permit or legally bought a firearm. They're either stolen or they have some straw person, what they call a straw poll person, go out and buy them a gun.
You mean, Joe, these criminals are not going to the local sheriff's department to get their concealed carry permit?
Actually, they're not. No.
Oh my gosh.
And so what we need to do is we need to get out there and tell people, make sure people know that that's what's happening. We also and I'm directing this directly at the school district. Okay. Right now, we know that there's this incredibly high number of property crimes, of break-ins, and the majority of them are occurring Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until about 2 p.m. Well, think for a minute. What goes on 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.? School, okay? And there's an incredible large number of this. We've seen it on the watch. We've seen it on TV. We've heard it on the newspapers. Our juveniles, kids that are in school. What is the school district doing about truancy? Did you know that truancy, Eric, is against the law in the state of Georgia? It's actually a criminal offense.
I thought it was pretty much against the law anywhere.
And I know it is in Georgia. I don't know anywhere else.
Well,
and it's supposed to go into juvenile court. So what I'm asking is this: you know what's happening? What is the school district? I looked and see what's happening is they're taking roll, and I'm not blaming them. I'm saying they're taking roll in homeroom, and then that's it. And then when they go to the other periods, these kids slip out. They go into a local neighborhood. They break in, take things, et cetera, then come back to school. And if a kid doesn't even show up for school, do you know what they do? They push up. They send a note to the office, and the office has an automated machine that does an automated call to whatever number is on the dial list, and then they say, "This is Muscogee School District. This is an automated reply. Your child."
I think every single period, just like we did for everything in training in the military,
they take attendance.
Yeah.
You
have an accountability. The teacher is responsible for a certain amount of students for that period. Go down to roster, you call off the names. If little Johnny's not there, well, where's little Johnny? And somebody follows up on where little Johnny is. Is he out? Is he homesick? Okay, fine. Bring a note from the doctor tomorrow.
Okay.
Do the parents know where he is?
Here I am. Now I'm going to make a few people mad with this one. Okay. Where are all the community leaders? I don't mean the politics. Where are all the pastors and the Interfaith Alliance and the Ministerial Alliance and where are all these organizations now NAACP, groups like that. Why are they not out there saying, "Oh, look, we've got trouble in these neighborhoods around Columbus. We have trouble with kids and this. We need to help stop this." On that, I don't hear that. I hear them talking about people. Somebody got shot in Ferguson, or somebody got shot down in Florida, or something like that. But nobody seems to be concerned about anything that's going down back right now.
And a lot of these stories, the story is written, and this drives me crazy, okay? Because Joe and I were both at one time involved in law enforcement, and we have written a report or two. There is always some type of information that goes in to the suspect description, all right, and what he looked like, or how tall he was, or his ethnicity, and these stories that come out, whether it be TV stories, whether it be the newspaper, whether it be a police statement or something, which I'm going to have to point out that a lot of your media news that you're seeing, the breaking news, is nothing more than a hand-fed statement from the police, basically just giving a little bit of information. Man robbed in Columbus. That's it.
Well, you know what? And I got some looking at Columbus like, come on, let's get off of this immature garbage about this little on that. Let me tell you something. I could care less what a suspicious person looks like. I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, green, blue, or purple. I don't care if they're male, female. I don't care if they're whatever they are. If they're 10 years old or 100 years old. On that, I'm going to report them. And you know what? We have to be able to give accurate information to the police. And people that come out and you say, okay, the person was a black male or a white male or a Hispanic male. Well, you're being racial there. No, you're not. I'm giving a description. Come on, let's quit this juvenile, ridiculous behavior of sitting there, people out there, not the people to watch, going like, well, in other words, just because you saw a black person or a Hispanic person or somebody that was Asian or somebody that was white, you're making a comment. No, I'm giving a description of the suspect. And let me tell you something. If you come in my neighborhood or anybody in the neighborhood during the day and you don't live there, how do I know live there? Well, you see somebody walking around in people's yards wearing a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and when they see you, they dart behind a house and go through some woods. That's suspicious behavior.
Are you still over there at 123 Hauser Street?
Yeah, exactly. That's suspicious behavior. And you know what? What do? Don't approach them. Don't go up to them and ask them what they're doing. You call the police. Yeah. 911. You give a description as accurately as you can and let them go do their job, and they know what they're doing, and they're going to do it. They're not going to walk. They're going to walk up, and they're going to drive up, and they're going to say, "Hey, can I help you? What's going on? Do you need a ride? Is there a problem in here?" And then they're going to start talking to the person, and the person just doesn't appear to be right, or something's going on. It's suspicious. The officer has a right to pat the person down. The officer can, by law, ask them their name on that. And we need to just get off this little bus of people going like, well, why do we have to put the race of the person? Because it's their description. And I don't care if they're white or black or Hispanic, whatever they are. We got to be able to describe them to the most detailed, absolute. If it's a white person, a pale person, a heavily tan person, a person with long blonde hair, blue eyes. If they're African American, they're light skin, black skin, Hispanic, Asian, whatever they are, that's just a description of a person.
Anyway, the details is what I'm talking about on these reports. Details in the stories and stuff. And the details of some of these stories, like 8-year-old, 9-year-old goes to school with a gun, okay? Where did he get the gun?
Where did he get the gun?
Was it his parents' gun? Did he buy the gun on the street? Did somebody hand him the gun? Is the gun stolen? And you say, well, it's got to be investigated. No. An officer can pick up that gun, and one of the first things they do is they call in the serial number to see if it's in the National Registry, and they can pretty well figure out real quick whether it's stolen, if it's been stolen and reported, which you need to have. This is just a tip if you don't know and you haven't thought about this. All your personal stuff, like your TVs, serial numbers, guns, serial numbers, that stuff is stolen. You need to have that stuff written down. But anyway, if the serial number has been put into the national database, it's going to come back. If it was stolen in California and it was put in the national database, that gun is going to come back stolen. And what I'm saying is, the media is not asking the right questions. They're not giving a complete and why. Why are we not getting the full story? I mean, yesterday there was a high-speed chase of a motorcycle that came out of Lee County, probably into Phoenix City. Okay, you never heard about it because the trooper tried the best he could to get the motorcycle. It was a crotch rocket. It got onto Jarrah Island. Of course, the crotch rocket can change lanes and get between cars a whole lot easier than a state patrol car. And he got away, but nothing was ever said about it. But you can't follow every single little thing. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, we need more detailed reporting. We need to ask the hard questions. And this crap of reporting. Oh, here is a statement that came out in an email. This is all we got. Boom. This is all that's getting reported. Well, you know what? Call them up again and say, look, ask some questions. What did the suspect look like? Is the gun stolen? The who, what, when, and why, and stop going with. And if you can't get it right then before the newscast, then follow up. Follow up on the story.
And you know what? And Eric, let me ask this. And let me ask you out there. How many times in the last 3 weeks have we heard from mayor on down people saying, "Well, it's not their fault. There's nothing we can do. What are they supposed to do?" Well, you want to tell you what? If when you take the office of mayor, when you take the office of a counselor, I'm not saying you're responsible, but you can be held accountable. And let me tell you something. If they can't do it, if that's what their answer is, if their answer is, "I'm sorry, we don't have enough officers to protect the people in this community. We don't have enough resources," then call the governor and tell the governor we need state troopers down here. Call the National Guard. Call whatever we need to get people down here to do that. And don't tell me, don't sit there and come to me and double my taxes and come up and tell me they can do that and they can get their Dodge Chargers with 454 Hemi engines in them and come to me and tell me, "Oh, but you know what? We can't protect you." And you know what? If you can't do it, then go out there and tell people. If people say they can't do it, then fire them and hire some new people.
Here's the number one thing. This for the next mayor that's coming in. Go ahead and steal this idea. We need to change the perception of citizen involvement or citizens working with the law enforcement. But here's the thing that needs to change. Okay, the citizens should not have to beg a local law enforcement agency for help, either with starting neighborhood watches or training or anything like that. That ought to be the agency. The agency should be reaching out to the civilians, the citizens out there, and saying, "This is what we can do for you, for the people that want to do it. We can provide training, extra patrols. We can set up some type of communication, whether it be anonymous tip line or a email system where you don't have to give your name or anything, but you see this stuff going on." I mean, we've made it work for 4 years on social media, and it works, okay? There are thousands of people out there every day seeing stuff, okay? Email system where you don't have to give your name. Hey, that sounds just like me. Anyway,
Sandy said we keep breaking up.
We need better communication. We need training for people that want to be trained, and it could be done so easily, and the communication could flow both ways. But we got to get rid of the egos and this mentality that, "Oh, we're law enforcement. We don't have to tell you anything."
Sandy, you might want to go out and come back in because our audio is good. It might be your signal on that. But,
yeah, it could be, or it could be Steve Austin. It's breaking up. It's breaking up. I can't hold it. Anyway, but there's a lot of people out there that know there's some type of issue, okay, and you got to speak up. Okay, the times of just remaining silent for whatever reason, you need to stand up and speak up and ask questions, and for the select few of you out there, there's got to be some people that are in a position that can run for mayor, run for city councilor. There's other positions, okay, and start thinking about it. We've got these other people that are starting to
you got it, Sandy.
To stand up now. They got this meeting coming up. Now, the Concern Georgia page, I think, is just hit a milestone of something like 12,000 people. Neighborhood Watchers, not the Neighborhood Watchers, I'm sorry. The Watch has just went over 16,000. Okay, and this is by word of mouth. Okay, the names of these groups are not on the side of a bus somewhere. We're not advertising in the newspaper. It's just word of mouth. Okay. Uh, some of you people need to show up to this meeting on September the 13th, and bring your ideas and bring your concerns. And it's like the guy from Network News, that if you know that movie, you know, I'm mad as hell and we're not going to take this anymore.
I can guarantee you one thing, Eric. I guarantee you, whether they'll admit it or not, they're watching this right. If they're not watching this right now, they'll watch it later. They look on the concerned citizens page. They look on the watch. They look on those things. The city leaders do that. And and like I said, one thing too is that you just got we outnumber the bad people, if you will, in town by thousands and thousands and thousands. And you know what? As a former police officer, let me tell you all something too. We talk about the police are in your neighborhood 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're wherever you live is a part of a beat. But you know what? Those officers, we have sometimes out there, we have beats that have 3 officers, 3 on duty on that for the whole shift because of shortages of people that are out and stuff like that. They need our help. And I don't mean to sound facetious and I don't mean to sound ridiculous, but I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you what they don't do. What they don't do. If Eric calls 911 and says, "This is Eric Woodson at 123 Hauser Street," and
I wouldn't say that. That's where you live.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody knows it's made of address, but he's at 1515 Mockingbird Lane, and if he says he's at 1515 Mockingbird Lane, and there's a suspicious person out walking down the road, the police do not go up to that person and go, "Yeah, I just wanted Eric Woodson over there at 1515 Mockingbird Lane called us, and he reported that you're a suspicious person." And we don't do that. They never did that. I never did that. People don't do it. And what they do is they'll drive up and they'll say, "Hey, sir, can I help you tonight?" And they'll sit there talking to him and say, "What's going on tonight? Are you here visiting somebody in the neighborhood, or do you live here?" And then if they say, "Yes, I am," and they'll say, "Can I ask who it is?" And they'll say, "It's okay." And they'll get that information, and all the time they're writing this information down. If they say no, if they live in Green Island Hills and they're walking around in Oakland Park, and somebody says, "Where do you live?" "Well, I live in Green Island Hills, but I'm just going for a walk," and you're in Oakland Park, there's a problem there. And then also they're going to run them. They're going to run them on the computer. An officer of the law has a legal right in the state of Georgia to ask you for your name and identification on that. Now, you can refuse it on that, but the officer can hold you on that. And so what the officer's going to do? The officer's going to run you. The officer's going to ask you nicely, just like live PD. They're going to say, "Hey, sir, have you been in any trouble with the law before?" Now, if it's if it's during the day, where we've had a lot of break-ins, or it's late at night or something like that, and it comes back and says, "Yeah, this person's been arrested and convicted 3 times of property crimes, breaking in and house home invasion," there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem on that. But we've just got to get realistic. But I'm going to tell you, it's us. It's these 16,000 people that are in this organization, this movement that we have, is going to be the people that's going to bring the crime to their knees, because this is what's happening. And we've got to hold people accountable. We've got to tell them, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, in the area that I live, you have a major high school. And you got kids that are busted in from all over Columbus, all races, creeds, and colors from Columbus, all over. And they come, and I've had the school security people admit to me. They said, we've got 900 kids in the school. We've got limited ability, 1 or 2 security officers, and we can't track them. And what they do, they go off, and then, you see these contradictory things where, supposedly we don't have gangs, and we have loose associations of young people. What they call, and then we have law enforcement saying, we have gangs. Silliness. We do have gangs, everybody. We got 52 gangs. I had a person, I don't know if you follow me on the watch on my page, but I'll tell you this. I had a person, I was leaving early in the morning to go to work, and I happened to I passed by a local area high school, and it was after school had started, or they should have been there, and I saw an individual walking that area, and the individual was wearing camouflage pants. Guess what? Camouflage pants is a current gang color. It's a nationally affiliated gang, to the point, check me if I'm wrong, you'll find out, call the Muscogee County School District you cannot, you're not allowed to wear any camouflage clothing. You're gonna have a camouflage backpack. You can't have a camouflage bandana because it's a gang color. Well, gosh, I'm in the military. I was in the military too. I have an honorable discharge in the United States Army. And, they said, well, my kids have got some camouflage clothing from hunting. So I said, well, you can't wear them to school. And you see a kid at school wearing them, they're probably making a statement. About a month ago, I was telling Eric, I was with some people that from a church group, Care, how are you doing?
He's selling Morse code. Kerr, we didn't get the full. Was that dot dash dash dash?
Here's an interesting one. I work at a Christian ministry also as a volunteer, and we had a group that went out to a local middle school, and they were delivering some donuts, and they weren't doing a religious message. It was just a kind of
donut. What kind of donuts?
Does it matter? We're ex-cops. Donuts on that, and they took a group picture of this group of kids. And they brought it back and were showing it to me, and I said, I've got some bad news. I said, do you see this kid? Do you see this kid? And this kid? And they said, why? And I said, because they're flashing gang signs. And they just didn't believe it. They said, oh, that's just some kid thing. I said, I guarantee you that's a gang sign. And I said, take it over to the school. If you don't believe me, take it down to the police department. I'll show it to you. Get online. You can look at it. It's a very clear gang sign. It was for Folk Nation, I believe, which is a major gang on that. Interestingly, and I'm not letting anything out of the bag. Kathy Eason Coley, my sister-in-law. Hey, darling, how you doing? Joining us right now. Did you all see that? Because it was public news, it was in the news. They said that we were talking about the kid that brought the gun to school. That kid was at Arnold Middle School. Isn't it interesting? Just the week before that there was 2 Arnold Middle School kids that were identified as Arnold Middle School kids that were caught breaking into houses during school on that. Maybe, hey, let's be sarcastic for a minute. Maybe we have a problem at Arnold Middle School. And they're going, what are you bad-mouthing Arnold? I'll bad-mouth anywhere there's a problem.
Well, I would
Wake
say,
up, Columbus. Wake up, Chattahoochee.
There's probably not a problem with the school. I mean, the school's probably a good school. We just have an attendance problem and taking attendance.
These are desperate times.
So, I mean, do they let them check out at lunchtime?
I don't know. We got to quit worrying about offending people. We've got to protect people. And if they've got a problem there, or at Richards Middle School, or Daniel Middle School, or any middle school, whatever it is, we have to recognize that at any of the schools.
Hey, what do you say we try and? You think we could give Marshall a call and see if we can get him on the air?
He said to let him call because he's in court. I think,
okay.
I don't want to.
I just thought we
could try to. Maybe I'll take a break in a second. I'll try to call him.
All right.
So, but we've also got the holiday season. We've got a hurricane off of that's just supposed to be absolutely.
So let's say a little bit about that. I have not been following closely the projected path or anything. I have no idea, and I'm not trying to get people all worried and upset. But you might want to just take stock of things like batteries and bottled water.
Hold on, I've got to stop you for just a second. Somebody that I went to high school with just came on here. Hey, darling, it's good to see you.
Who was that?
Kimberly Burns Alito, I guess you pronounce it on that. Well, I know it's Kim Burns. Hey, darling, love you. I hadn't seen her in 40 years. Look, I haven't changed at all, have I? On that, good to see you.
Where did y'all go to, like Stonewall Jackson High School or something?
We went to the original PHS, Pacelli High School.
Oh, okay.
Our high school no longer exists.
I thought maybe it was like, Lewis and Clark or
Stonewall Jackson or Robert E. Lee or High or something like that.
Teddy Roosevelt.
No, ours was just as bad. Ours was, you know what ours was? Our Pacelli is named after Pope Pius XII. You know who that was, don't you? That was the Pope during World War II. They always called him Hitler's Pope. We had a big giant poster of it. Some of the best years of my life, 1976 to 1980. Class of 1980, Kim. That's us on that. Kim, 7 grandkids now. 7 grandkids. 4 grown on that. You look fabulous, by the way. I watch you on yours. What did you do? What happened to you? What happened to me? I mean, what happened to me? on that. You look like you're still in high school.
So what was I talking about before you just totally?
Before
went
I just
my
went,
mind?
I just went.
Whatever thought I had is totally gone now.
Well, we're talking too about. I think one thing too that we have to recognize too that we have another thing, and this is not necessarily crime, but I think it interjects with it. Is that because of the last this administration and the administration before that? And by the way, I thought it was funny. I heard the mayor say that she wasn't her fault because she inherited some problems. Well, this is her second administration. So, what, did she inherit the problems from herself? That I guess so. But about stocking up on things, Eric. For the thank you, Sandy.
Yeah. So little things.
Thank you, Kathy.
Order some canned food, some candles that the power should go out. Just a little. Be a little proactive. I'm not going to say you need to go out and build a fort, and prepare to, the end of the world or anything like that. But just a few things, so that you don't have to sit in the dark, or some of the little cooking candles or something, little things to maybe warm some food up if the power should go out and you don't have a gas stove or anything, or some people have generators in their garages and they're prepared for this kind of things. And some people just have the mindset that, I'll just run to Walmart if I need anything. Well, everybody knows if it gets really bad, Walmart shelves are going to go, they're going to be, milk, eggs, and all that stuff is going to be gone because people are going to be in fear and panicking and buying everything they can get their hands on. So just a little bit right now, just ease into it, and just take stock of what you got. That's all I'm saying.
Here's one of my thoughts. I'll say, and add to the bottom of that list, or maybe the top, either way on that. Buy a shotgun and ammunition.
Well, for some of us, that's an area that we don't have to worry about because we've got enough for the neighborhood. You can't spend time in the military and stuff and not.
I can honestly say, Eric, that I don't own a firearm. Really? I don't own a firearm.
Oh, okay.
I don't own one gun.
Pat owns them all?
No, I have hundreds, but I don't own a phone.
Anyway. Yeah, that's like the good colonel. The good colonel always comes in. In fact, that's who we need to get on the show one day.
We do,
We've got to bring Colonel Nelson in.
He's a wonderful guy.
And his wife.
That's like, Kim, if you're still on, you remember when I was in high school, I always had a philosophy is, when the big tough kids would try to pick on me and stuff like that, I would look at them and I'd say, I don't believe in fighting. I think it's wrong. I do. I don't believe in fighting. I just won't do it. I think it's wrong. That's why I've always carried a pistol.
Right. Well, what's that other saying from that? I've never believed in fighting or hitting another person unless I knew that I could get away with it and run.
That's right. That's right.
What movie was that from? That was something.
I don't know what that is. I think that was from Stripes. Wasn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
We should. That should have been a trivia question.
Yes, Harold Ramis said that. Harold Ramis, the late Harold Ramis. He's dead. He died.
What did he die of?
He had some sort of a brain tumor, brain disease on that. He died. If you look at a little Harold, a little trivia on that. Here we're going to stray for just a second. The new Ghostbusters movie?
I haven't seen it.
Every one of the original cast members are in that movie in little cameo.
Yeah, that's what they do now. Like the
and how Harold is in that is they're in the dean's office, and if you look behind the dean, there's a statue like one of those a bust, and it's of Harold Ramis.
They a lot of the movies now they'll bring back the original characters in some little role or something, and everybody knows Stan Lee, who's the comic book guy. He's in all his little Spider-Man and all the movies. He makes a little cameo.
Weren't you Spanky in the Gang?
No, I was too tall to be Spanky. But anyway.
Well, let me ask you a question. And here's something that I was disturbed about, or on that. Apparently, I'm not getting on these people, but I'm just disturbed that we have. You were telling me apparently we have some little homeless camps in Columbus still?
Oh yeah, we had some people get together and look in the woods and stuff for this girl that was missing, and her mother hadn't heard from her in 72 days, 72 hours, and her car was found over in the Target parking lot. So we got together and we kind of looked in some ditches and some wooded areas off the parking lots and stuff, and we had a tip that there was some type of woman that was calling for help or something about the same time that she went missing that was over near the Cracker Barrel. It was never confirmed. We never found anything. But while we were looking, we were over in the area, in the industrial, I call it like the industrial area over there behind where Cracker Barrel is off of W.C. Bradley, in the vicinity of one of the buildings by Charbroil over there on kind of like the road kind of goes to a T, and if you go to the right, you kind of go towards J.R. Allen, and it ends. It's blocked. You go to the left, I don't know what that road is, but anyway, back in the woods, apparently, behind the Charbroil, there's little gypsy camps set up there, just, not 50 yards into the woods off of J.R. Allen, tents and stuff, and there's a huge amount of trash back in the woods. I mean, bottles and fast food bags and plastic and just a bunch of crap. And we were kind of back in there just not really trying to mess with them or anything, but now this is over well up from 2nd Avenue where, there's been some well-known camps and stuff. And I understand that, people homeless and stuff, and I'm not going into that. I'm not bashing homeless people and stuff, but they could at least maybe try and get rid of some of their garbage and stuff. But there's a whole area back here in the woods that's like, I don't know if anybody knows about it, but
I didn't know about it.
Apparently the land belongs to Charbroil, or I don't know if it's the right of way or what, but if anybody from the city is listening, you might want to go in there. It would be an excellent place for some community group to go in there and clean up all that garbage. There's a creek back in there that runs kind of like, it looks like it runs parallel to J.R. Allen. There's some drainage ditches back, or drainage concrete areas. There's a bridge, some kind of concrete bridge that must have been a walking bridge or something at one time.
Yes, Sandy, that's what you're talking about.
And
she's behind the Cracker Barrel.
Well, it's in behind the Cracker Barrel, but you go in behind to the right, and you go down about a quarter mile till you hit the Charbroil places, and then in behind up to the right, there's a small Charbroil building or something. There's a parking lot in behind, and you go back, and basically the road ends right there at the wood line, and then there's a trail that goes back in there. I don't know if it was a walking trail back in the day before J.R. Allen came through there to get over the creek. I don't know what it was, but there's a lot of garbage and stuff back in there that could sure be cleaned up. And I guess because it's in the woods and it's in heavy, thick woods and stuff, that nobody sees it. And I don't know if law enforcement knows about it, but it's an area that could be cleaned up for what it's worth. But I wanted to say that it was great that some people came out and helped this mother, look for her daughter. And if you go to the page, you'll see some pictures of her. She's somewhere out there, supposedly in the community. Supposedly a text was sent to a family member, which doesn't really mean anything. If someone has their phone, I guess a text could be sent. But we've asked, we've gone to some of the homeless shelters. We've gone to some of the fast food places in the area. We put up posters. And it was just an attempt to try and locate this young woman. I don't know what the issues are. I didn't go that far. But we had some people ask for some assistance to try and find her. She is 27 years old. She's, I guess, capable of making her own decisions. But the way she disappeared was kind of strange. And family members were just worried about her safety. So what are you going to do? You're going to say, well, she's 27, I don't care? Or are you going to say, well, let's figure out, at least find her, and if she doesn't want to have contact with the family, that's her call. So, of course, people said, because what's strange is she works at a business off of Bradley Park, but her vehicle is almost like 250 yards away from the business, parked next to a bank in the Target parking lot. And it didn't make sense. Why are you going to walk that far away? So I don't know what the story is, but if anybody happens to see this young lady, ask her to call her mom and make some contact.
Sandy was asking, were there any cameras in the area?
No. Too far away from Target. The bank doesn't have any cameras. Too far away from. This was the last night she was seen. She got off work in the area of Steak and Shake, and too far away from that building. I don't think they have any cameras out there that could reach across there anyway. But the vehicle was over there in the parking lot, and it's just strange. And like any family member, you know, if you had some concerns, you'd be looking for your relative too. So
You know, just happened to bring that up since you said cameras. You know, just I'm going to re-spark a Kindle out there, hopefully. I can tell you where we do have some cameras. We have, quote, and this is from the city engineer, several hundred, that's a quote from the city engineer, cameras that are mounted all over Columbus that are not on. They've never been connected. They got through a DOT grant. And they weren't for DOT they were for whatever we wanted to use. I checked on that because people said, oh, they were to monitor traffic. There are some that do that, not these. These was a DOT grant. The cameras can be used for anything we want, and there are several hundred that are actually mounted up on many major intersections that are not connected and have never been connected.
well, Joe, you know, if you hook those cameras up, you know what that means, right?
Hello, Greg.
Somebody's got to watch them. You know.
Well, that's what when I asked the city engineer why we had several hundred cameras. I asked, first of all, could those cameras be used to monitor for law enforcement or public safety? And the answer was yes. I said, do they have high resolution capability copy? The answer was yes. And I said, why are they not connected? And I was told that because there was not enough money in a budget to have people or have a place to have them monitored and have people to monitor them. I thought it was interesting. The mayor was asking for us to buy a bunch of cameras for the river. We've got a bunch of cameras already, and they're not even being used.
There was an interesting thing that came up on a page yesterday. A lady saw some construction type people with backpacks and sprayers on out in Lee County. And she said, well, they're in our neighborhood. Why are these men in our neighborhood? They look strange, you know. And I guess, you know, not to start a controversy, but I guess they did be of Hispanic origin. But they were obviously working. And I kind of went through that area and saw some of them. There was a crew. There was a very large work truck in support of them. And what they are, it was found, you know, by simply asking a question: who are these men, and you know, is this legit? Obviously, they were spraying for some type of weeds or something, or either weeds or pests or something. And what they were doing is they worked for Alabama Power, and they are responsible for keeping weeds and things of that nature, spraying and keeping the weeds off the power poles and keeping them away from the power lines. So they were legit.
There you go. Keep going.
And where am I trying to go with this, Joe?
Up almost to the crease there. Yeah, you'll see.
Over here on the side?
Yeah, no, on the bottom, on where the silver is, right there. Yep.
Okay.
And you put it on its side. Yep, like that. You'll see a little light. It like magnetically.
All right. Forgive me, folks, as I'm trying to concentrate.
Power cord thing there in there. Yep, there you go.
Good.
Green light.
I got the green light.
Thank you. We had a power up there. Jed Harris just joined. Jed, welcome. Jed, if you want to give us a call, 706
give us a call, Mr. Harris. We haven't talked to you in a while.
940-0541.
Let us hear from you about the political pulse of Columbus, or possibly you have some type of great real estate deal out there that you're
yeah. On that, he's always got some.
Holy moly, we have the Checksnotter clan from down in New Orleans.
The
Angie, I haven't seen you in a while, and I hope your short little husband, who's a veteran, is doing well, and you're making sure he is gainfully employed, because I know he's shifty. But man, that man can cook some Cajun food down there. I got to get down there soon and see the Checksnotter clan. There's a whole clan of Checksnotters down there around New Orleans, and the only bad thing you can say about the Checksnotter clan is they're all hardcore Tiger fans down there. When I say Tiger fans, who am I talking about, Joe?
The Detroit Tigers.
No.
Wait. The Shaolin Tigers.
Those purple and yellow Tigers from down around New Orleans.
The Taipei Tigers. the LSU Alligators.
Yeah, that's the LSU Tigers.
LSU.
Anyway, just phoning you.
Seth Harp has just joined us. Welcome, Seth.
Who's that?
Seth Harp.
Okay.
And
well, if we keep going with people, we might just have to bust out of the Columbus area and have to go nationwide. What do you think?
I think we could. I think we could. Because let's say, we're asking, I think we're asking questions that everybody in Columbus and the Chattahoochee Valley have. And that's all we're doing. We're not, there's no malice intention. We're not trying to do, we're not troublemakers, if you will. We're not, we're just asking, but, people are concerned. And, I think that, the politicians in town might want to recognize that whether or not, I'll go middle ground here. I'm a mediator. I'll go middle ground here for a second and say that even if there's you should agree, I think you should agree that even if there's a perception of fear, a perception of danger in our town, in our community, in our valley right now, that is as dangerous as the real thing. But we do have the real thing, and to come out and say stuff like, like, oh well, this is the average number of murders we have for a year. Oh well, let's just, I mean that is absolutely ridiculous to come out and someone say, and and by the way, we've still got 4 more months, so I guess we're going to eclipse that. I mean, gosh, we might eclipse that this weekend.
Well, if you want to call this the average, we got 4 months late. We're gonna we're gonna be above average easily. Might set I'm not saying we're trying to set records, but it's going to be probably a record number.
Eric, and I think another thing that bothers me politically in town right now is that I've lived here all my life, and I keep hearing the statement coming up. Well, who's going to run for mayor? And what I keep hearing a lot of people say. I mean, there's a couple people that announced, but I hear a lot of people saying, I wouldn't want to be the mayor. I wouldn't want the job right now because, it's just so negative right now, and there's just such a negative connotation. It's okay to say we've got problems. It's okay. That's what a family does. A family sits down and stuff and says that we got problems.
Whoever the mayor is, I'll tell you what, the first order of business for the mayor, you ought to look at that $700,000 to $800,000 in grant money that goes out every year and really look hard at what that's being spent on.
Come on,
and how about if there's no money in the budget for the law enforcement agencies to do it, how about you put up about, I don't know, say $50,000 a year for citizen training? Okay.
Absolutely, and let's just also look at this. You cannot, there's an old saying: no matter how you skin the cat, they can like it. And we see this crime prevention budget money, where it's being spent, how it's being spent, and it's just people are just not buying it.
Yeah.
And we need to do something. Let me ask you a question: $900,000 or $800,000. What could the police department do if we handed them a check for $800,000?
I think they could do a lot. Some more police officers on the road.
On the street, more better.
But the bottom line is you got to change something. There is something. I mean, citizens didn't get this perception. Joe and I did not start the perception or start a rumor that police officers are not happy in Columbus. Okay, we didn't start that idea. That idea has been talked about for the last couple of years. Okay. And
the last couple decades.
And the revolving door of officers coming and going is an indication that something ain't right. So,
do you know that I happen to know for a fact that in January of 1985, we were 122 officers short. In January of 1985. And this is 2017, and we're still approximately around that number short. And what that is that, we've got to make it. We've got to give people a decent living. We've got to give them confidence. We've got to give them support. And we work a lot with, Back Columbus Blue on that. And right here you can see on the shirt, Back Columbus Blue. We believe in all of our public safety, our EMT. By the way, I'm a supporter. Yes, I don't know what y'all think about that. There's a bill currently that's going to the Georgia legislature that would allow EMTs and paramedics to carry a firearm, a registered firearm. People go like, oh, they're supposed to save life. They are there to save life, but when they're in the middle of a gunfight or they're in the middle of a horrible neighborhood or a drug den or something like that, they need to be able to defend themselves.
I don't know how it is over here, but over in Alabama, they stage the paramedics and stuff until law enforcement can get in and secure the scene and call them in. Which, depending on if you're the victim or you're the suspect, if you're the victim of violence or something, that could mean precious minutes that you could be either on the way to the hospital or getting medical care.
They don't do it here. I hear
so they go straight in.
They go straight in, and I have the greatest respect for those people.
Well, the difference being in the city over here, they're paid professionals. Over in Alabama, you have professionals, but they're on a volunteer basis. So that may have something to do with it.
God bless them for doing it.
But
absolutely.
Angie, if you're still listening, give us a call from down there at Nolans, 706-940-0541, and give us a Nolans weather report. Are y'all still getting rain down there? Are y'all bracing for this?
By the way, I did check this morning. You said you have it on. I haven't followed the storm. And right now they're saying that it's looking more like it's going to go up the east coast of Florida, hit Miami, dead on, and go up the east coast, which would threaten Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. So we may Savannah could be definitely in it. And in all the models, we're looking at 3 inches of rain.
Yeah. Did you see? It was about a week ago. There was outrage over a picture of U.S. servicemen bunking down in a hallway, elementary school, high school, or something. You could see all the wall lockers, and they were sleeping on the floor. And people were outraged or incensed about that. And I was just like, you know what? They're probably happy to be indoors, sleeping on the floor somewhere. A soldier doesn't care where he sleeps. If he's tired, he can sleep on concrete, okay? Because I've done it a bunch of times. 1992, they flew us out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina on C-130s. We flew in and came in on the backside of Hurricane Andrew after it hit Miami and it hit Homestead Air Force Base. And it was really funny because the Air Force called the Army and said, we need help securing this base where we got all these F-16s or 15s or 14s or whatever. And where it was, there was a fighter jet that was turned upside down and turned into toilet paper, basically, by the hurricane, that they couldn't, for some reason, couldn't get it out of there. Well, it didn't survive. But that night, we stayed on the Homestead Air Force Base while it was still pouring rain and there was 6 inches of water on the ground. We slept on the golf course and got just mauled by mosquitoes the size of B-52s. But the next day, buses came and took us to a neighborhood, I think it was called Richmond Heights, down in Miami, and we started helping people. We started putting, tarps back on top of their houses. We patrolled at night, which amazed these folks because, the United States Army, in a disaster relief within the United States, we had no police powers and we weren't carrying any live ammo, even though the National Guard was locked and cocked to the gills. But don't think that the Army doesn't have its way of getting what they need. But anyway, we were handing out everything from ice. And my point being, that night, we took shelter in the eaves or whatever outside an elementary school. And the next night, we got split up to individual neighborhoods. And we slept in a high school. And we were happy to be under a roof in a high school. It was, we had some running water that was still, it wasn't contaminated and stuff, and we had bathrooms that we could sit down in and stuff. So it was great to have a building, a structure to get out of the weather. So never think that, because a soldier is sleeping on the floor or on the ground or something, that he's feeling all disrespected. He's happy to get anything, because the bottom line is a combat soldier, he can live out of his rucksack, okay, if he has to. And many a night, soldiers sleep on their rucksack or laying right next to their rucksack and their weapon. So I don't know what the outrage was about them sleeping in the hallway, but it was pretty funny to me because I would have been happy to be one of those guys sleeping on the floor in there. And
Miss Pat is out sick. That's why I'm tired today. I've been up all night with her. But I was going to tell everybody she's got more information. I won't bring it up again. But speaking of, I did want to let you know that over at Shooters now, they've got I don't exactly know the name. I think it's Women Shooters of the Chattahoochee Valley. They have a group that's volunteers that meet together, like-minded women that of all ages creeds and colors that come together to learn to shoot. And
well, it's actually, isn't it part of a national organization?
It is part of a national organization. And I guess the marshal got tied up, but we'll get back to him. But the marshal also has he does a firearm safety class live shoot where you can bring your gun and ammunition, and they do a safety course, an instruction course. And of course, Eric over here does a professional instruction. It's not free, but he does professional instruction in shooting techniques and combat techniques and stuff like that. And I would very strongly recommend before you go out and buy or purchase a firearm to talk to somebody like Eric and to see what you could maybe, or to go. One of the nice about going over, like Robbie Witten over at Money Miser and David Moore over at Express Pawn, and John McMullen over there at Shooters. Before you go and do that, you might want to take one thing I think that's neat at Shooters that they have at the indoor range is they have on hand a large number of different types of firearms, handguns, of different calibers, small caliber up to very large calibers, revolvers, single action guns that you can rent. And as a matter of fact, Monday night is a ladies' night, and it's free rental, free gun rental.
Yeah.
On that,
but
you can go there and check it out before you go out and buy one. So.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. You need to go out and handle some different firearms and stuff, because the worst thing you could possibly do is let a boyfriend or a husband go out and pick you the gun that he thinks you need to know. Okay, because I've seen it too many times where a lady that's never shot in her life, and the husband goes out and buys her a big old hog leg 45 automatic, and it's way too big, way too much recoil for somebody that's just starting out, and they're either scares them to death, or there's too much recoil, they can't hang on to it, or they're not strong enough to work the slide to clear it or load it, and it's just a big mistake. You need to learn the fundamentals. You need to start, maybe start small, work your way up. There's nothing wrong with learning how to shoot with like a 22.
Thank you, Chattahoochee Valley. David Watt shared our video, and two others. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate that. And one of the things too is that that we also recommend out there. I was going to tell you that this is just a case, but so many of us today have cell phones. Okay, and one thing you can do in your home is take your cell phone, if you've got a smartphone, and put it on video, and walk around the house and take a video of your home. Take a video of all your valuables, of all your TVs, all kind of things like
for
that.
Insurance purposes.
For insurance purposes. Take your firearms out, and you can zoom in on the serial number, you can the gun, and you can go ahead and be talking, and you can tell you what the value of that is, and then keep a copy of that, and then and then keep it on your phone and store it up in the cloud, and have a copy of that. And I'm going to tell you what, I happen to know because I saw this recently happen.
I don't think we're going out, Joe.
We have a broadcast interruption. Okay, hold on. Yep, I know what that means. That means our signal went out. Hold on. Let's see.
So for the YouTube folks,
we're still on YouTube.
We've had a slight interruption off Facebook.
We'll be right back.
And we're coming right back. So
hang tight with us for just a second.
Is there any way just to start it back up?
Yeah, I can do that right now. You know what it is? I found they do. See, we're like an hour and 40 minutes now. They'll do that. Facebook will do that to try to cut you off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Facebook has got it in for us today, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Facebook. They're trying to. We're on too long. They don't like that. Even though we can.
So what we're doing is we're waiting to try and get back on Facebook.
Let's see.
I mean, to be honest though, we were pretty much done anyway.
Yeah. If I can even get it up on here.
Are we coming back?
Let's see. Here we go. Yep. Let me. Come on. What the hell we do? Here we go. Here we go live. 2, 1, and
Okay, we're back live again.
Back live again.
I guess Facebook kicked us off because we were just talking too long or something, but we got to see if we can get back over to Joe's page.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. We're still on our Facebook Live right now, but I noticed one thing that they do on that is they'll come back and if you're on for a considerable amount of time, they'll go back out and try to cut you off. And then that's what we did. So I'm going to have to go back out here and go down here.
Okay.
All right. And so we at least say bye to everybody. All right, here we go.
Are we, so we are live.
Yeah, we are live.
Okay. I'm just looking for where we came back.
Okay. And there we are right there. Like there's me. We're alive on mine right now.
Okay.
All right, so let's see if that's.
All right, folks. So we got kicked off of Facebook, and we're pretty close to being done anyway. We just going to say a little something. Share this over to the watch here. Search.
Yep.
Share this over to the watch here.
We're going to put us on the watch.
Yep, I just stuck us back over there.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, everybody. That was that's Facebook messing with us. That's exactly what that is.
Doggone it! I hate it when they do that.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we've had a great show today, and I hope we've sparked a little bit of interest and a little bit of thought out there. We will be back again on Wednesday next week, and I think are we going to try next week to do it 2 days?
I don't know. We hadn't talked about it really.
Because I was thinking maybe we would try to do it maybe like Wednesdays and Thursdays or something like that.
Let's see. I got to check something because I don't see us back over there.
On the watch?
Yeah, I thought I shared us back over.
We're seeing you on your video now. Tap to invite him to join you as a guest. Okay. Let's see. All right. All right. No comments. Okay. Well, I'm certainly on mine.
Oh, it's 1:50. Oh, okay. Okay, I guess we are.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and close out.
Well, I was just going to say, hey, we've had a pretty good show with the problems we've had. But if you're listening to this, all right, and you like some of the stuff that we're saying and you think would make sense, then we need you to tell other people about the page, about the show. Speak out.
And you can always go to, by the way, hey Greg, to the Valley Watch on YouTube. Go on YouTube with the Valley Watch.
What is that? Greg Glass out there?
Yeah, it's uninterrupted on the and we've got real good video and real good high quality on the Valley Watch. The Valley Watch.
Yeah. Real quick, hey Greg, is there anything interesting going on in Phoenix City right now we haven't heard about? Let us know. But anyway, folks. Share the information on how, your friends list, if you've got like-minded people that are worried about crime and some of the other issues and stuff in the area, you can add them, you can add them. Absolutely. And get them on the watch. You can tell them about the show. I mean, the show's getting bigger and bigger and got more people following it all the time. And whether you follow it live or you see it later, it really doesn't matter.
Hey, Carol.
So
sorry, Carol, we had a little technical on that.
And the other thing you can do is, Stacy pretty much has got the night shift and stuff. She covers a lot of stuff going on, and then we got some people during the day. But every one of you out there, if you see something significant going on out there, put a little blurb out there on the watch page and say, you can ask a question, what's going on, or I saw this. And we'll try and get an answer to it. And
exactly. And you can always contact us, you PM us privately if you don't want to do it directly. If you have a particular issue or a situation or something or a tip or something that you're aware of, we are not afraid to take it onto the air. And, we can do that confidentially without ever involving you whatsoever. Yeah. And, we'll ask the questions. There's no doubt about that. But Eric, thanks as always for coming on. Tom Rogers just joined us. Tom, thank you. We appreciate y'all, and we're just closing out.
Real quick. Hey,
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
A friend of Lori's, I guess they went to school. But if you don't know it and you haven't tried it, I know the folks in Columbus probably have, but Chicken Combers has come back to over there on 14th Street in Phoenix City.
Ooh,
and I got me some stew yesterday. The only problem that I can see with the restaurant is they close early, okay, in the evening, which, you know, in the area they're in, I can understand the mindset behind closing early. But if you're going over there at lunchtime, you better look for some parking spaces around the area because the parking lot stays full. And let me tell you, that chicken stew that I got yesterday, or the stew, ooh boy, it was spicy and it was good. And I'm thinking about stopping there on the back. So if you're in the Phoenix City area around 14th Street and you're looking for a place to have a meal that's brand new, clean, try out Old Chicken Combers.
And while you're at it, come on down to Moon Road to Willie Good Pizza and More. 742 right down here.
I ate there the other night and had me a big old 14-inch Hawaiian pizza.
Ooh, it was good.
And let me tell you the special thing they got over there. They've got this, you tell me how to say it, but it's like a baked
calzone.
No, it was a baked cheesecake.
Baked cheesecake. Oh, that's one of our specialties.
Yeah,
it's a regular cheesecake, and it's got the dough on top, and then it's baked, and then you the icing on top of it, and it's kind of like a baked Alaska, but it's cheesecake.
Yeah, I don't know what baked Alaska is, but this was
same thing with just ice cream on the inside.
So anyway, 2 recommendations for places to eat.
Really Good Pizza and More open every day from 11 o'clock until 9 o'clock each night. 706-221-6620. 706-221-6620. Call in your order, and it'll be there when you get there, or you can pick it up. And military, law enforcement, public safety, always 10% off on that. And we always
retired military?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. Everybody have a great day. God bless you. Where's your T-shirt? Hi, Sandy. We got it. You got your T-shirt right here. It's sitting right over
Where's
here.
my T-shirt?
Yeah, we must owe Sandy a T-shirt.
Sandy sent us a message telling me I'm on my way back through Columbus to Phoenix City. I can drop you off a T-shirt.
Drop you off a T-shirt, send Eric a message.
And I think Butch or John or somebody over off of Victory or something, we owe him a T-shirt. So
we've got plenty of them. Real soon we're gonna be having some new T-shirts.
Yeah.
I think
we're going to be working on the watch T-shirts.
Yeah, you might want to be watching for those because they're coming up real soon here. Eric, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody out there. God bless you. God bless America.
If you see the mayor in Columbus, make sure you say,
"Get your head out of the sand."
Bye, Teresa.
That's right, our thing.
Bye, Teresa.
Bye. All right, on that. Dan, don't come back no more on that. All right. Okay, we still owe Carol a pizza and a shirt. Carol, and my beads. Okay, all right, we got to do this. Okay, Carol, give Erica a message, and we'll get those to you. We sure will. Appreciate y'all. God bless you, and have a wonderful day. And hey, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We're all together in this. We'll do it. God bless you. Take care. And I'm going to take us out. I got to walk around and take us out.
Just turn us off. Don't take us out.
Everybody.
I hate it when he takes us out.
Here and get us out.